Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I am going to do another video on using the quadratic formula. I just completed one, and there's a link to it if you didn't get a chance to watch that. It'll be a link up here. But this one, the previous one was a rational root. This one is going to be an irrational root, and then we just have to determine can we simplify it or not. So let's go. So. As you can see on my screen, I have a quadratic equation 4r squared minus 17r plus 8 equals a negative 2r. Now remember, it's got to be equal to 0. This is not, so we're going to have to move this negative 2r to the other side. Excuse me. So let me jump to my iPad and let's go. So again, all you're going to do is do the opposite of whatever the number is. So I have a negative 2r. So that means I'm going to have to add a positive 2r, and I'm going to have to add that to both sides. And so here is my new equation. It's going to be 4r squared. I forgot that part. 4r squared is going to be minus 17r plus 2r. So that's going to be a negative 15r. And then we just have a plus 8. And again, it has to be equal to 0. And it is. Now, again, so now once we have it equal to 0, we're just finding the a, b, and c. The a is the leading coefficient. Remember, you never put letters or variables in these boxes or in the formula. It's always going to be numbers, right? So the leading coefficient is 4. The b value is a negative 15, and the c value is plus 8. So we're just going to plug this in. Remember, these steps you're going to do no matter what kind of roots they are. So this is going to be a negative 15. This is also going to be a negative 15. Now we're going to put the a in here and the a down here, and this is going to be the c value. From here, we're going to use the calculator. So let's go grab the calculator. Let me make this a little larger so you can see it. Again, we're going to store the numbers just like we did in the previous video. So the a value is 4, so we press Control Variable, and we're going to store that into the letter A. The next one is going to be a negative 15, and we're going to store that into the letter B. And then the next one is 8, and we're going to store that into C. Press Enter. Now, we always have to check the determinant, the b squared minus 4ac part. Always do that because that's going to tell us what we need to do. Rational, irrational, simplify, all of that. So let's do that. So I'm just going to type that into the calculator. B squared minus 4 times a times c. Boom. And remember, you got to put a multiplication symbol between the a and the c, otherwise calculator gets confused. Now, so this is 97. So if you're not sure if this is a perfect square or if it's simplifiable, so you're just going to do menu 23. And if it has some factors that we can simplify, this will tell us. All right, so basically we get the same number back. So what you should deduce from that is that this is a prime number. Prime numbers can't be simplified. They're not perfect squares. So this is going to be an irrational root. These are going to have irrational roots, and we can't simplify it. So let's go to the iPad and finish this up. So this is 97. Menu 23 is 97. So this is a prime number, just as a fact. Now, so this is just going to be square root of 97. We cannot simplify it. Over here, we're going to have a negative times a negative. So this is going to be a positive 15 here, right? And then we're going to have plus or minus. And now this is going to go here. So this is going to be the square root of 97. And on the bottom, it's just going to be 2 times 4, which is 8. Now, there's nothing else we can do with this. That's the answer. It's going to be 2 irrational roots, and we can't simplify the radical. So now you just go and you enter this. So I'm going to use I'm going to use a fraction. It's going to be a positive 15 plus or minus square root of 97. And then in the denominator is just going to be 8. 2 times 4, which is 8. And now those are the two rational roots. And it says very nice. All right, so let's go back and review this again. Remember, it has to be, the quadratic equation has to be equal to 0 in order to use the quadratic formula. So we had to set it equal to 0. Once we set it equal to 0, we just find the a, b, and c. Once we find the a, b, and c, we're going to use the determinant, or the b squared minus 4ac part. We're going to find out, is it a perfect square? Is it, if it's not a perfect square, is it something that we can simplify? In this case, it was not a perfect square, and it was not something that we could simplify, so we just left it as the square root of 97, right? And that's your answer. But remember, you always have to check this b squared minus 4ac part to know what you need to do next. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to stop and I'm going to post this.